I'm Melmo. I basically head mod on Anime League forums for Cosplay Central. I tend to do a lot of stuff on a budget, which is why I chose to do this cosplay. This cosplay panel, should I say. Basically with this one, it's just a case of, obviously, a lot of people just see cosplay and they go, I can't do that, it's too expensive. It really isn't if you have imagination. Basically, it's just the next slide, please. Okay, apparently my costing for my young version of my Bellatrix is not coming up. Never mind. Basically, I did a young version of this Bellatrix. We got it to the back. Alright, just leave that one up, it's fine. Basically, I did a younger version of this Bellatrix, and essentially, you can't see the pictures that well, to be honest with you, but essentially, I had a big green cloak. That was probably the most expensive part. I actually used the same wig as I've used today. My lovely wig sensei over in the corner has basically helped me a lot with my wigs. This wig was about a tenner from eBay. It's a really cheap costume wig. For this one we kind of pinned a bit of grey in it, but it's exactly the same wig that's been used in that picture. So reusing wigs is always a really good thing when you're on a budget, because wigs tend to be an expensive part of the cosplay. I basically bought a charity shop skirt for £5 and just amended it. It was originally a floor-length skirt, so I literally just put an elastic waistband in and just made it shorter, and obviously made it like a school-type skirt. This is apparently Bellatrix's broadest uniform, is what I kind of had in my mind for it. Don't quite know why, but basically the total costing of this costume was about 40 quid. Which again is something that I tend to do. I tend to sort of have things that are a lot cheaper. If you go to the next slide for me. So as I was saying, the most expensive part generally of most cosplays is wigs. I tend to use eBay a lot, just because it tends to be the cheapest place to go. Obviously you do have wig shops and stuff in towns. You find they're generally more expensive. A lot of them obviously real hair, that kind of thing. So that might be one a little bit more expensive. You do have sort of different types of wigs you can get. Obviously this is a super cheap costume wig, but you can also get, I tend to find I have problems with short wigs especially, and making sure that they look okay. I generally find that that's one of the sort of Japanese fibres that you're supposed to be able to straighten and stuff. I never have tried because I'm not very good at wigs. But I tend to try and buy the style that I need and then go off that really and try and amend it as is possible. Again, as I put on there, ask a willing friend. That person in the booth right there is my willing friend. We exchange skills, shall we say. Basically, yeah, styling wigs as well. As long as you've got some sharp scissors, they don't have to be hair cutting scissors. Sharp scissors, cut into it. There's loads of tutorials on YouTube, everything like that. But make sure, and again, just use cheap hairspray. You know, even PVA glue, if you're doing something like Axel from Kingdom Hearts, for example, and you want like these huge spikes, PVA glue works just as well. Obviously, just bear in mind you're never going to be able to restyle that wig again. It will literally stay in that position. Obviously, you can also use your own hair as well. The one on the top right is my own hair. I just basically tied it back in a ponytail, dyed it brown, wasn't really difficult. And again, obviously the blonde wig on the left, and the one at the bottom, the red wig, that's actually a more expensive wig. I bought that from Arda, literally because the rest of the cosplay was so cheap. I could legitimately justify to myself that I could buy a more expensive wig. It's from Arda, so it's about 30 quid, which to me is expensive for a wig. But yeah, wigs generally tends to be, for me, the most expensive part of my cosplay. A fabric. Again, a lot of people just go to a fabric shop, buy fabric. It tends to be a little bit more expensive unless it's on sale. Again, we have a lot of charity shops. I'm from Preston. We have a lot of charity shops up in Blackpool, but there's literally a £1 charity shop that I adore. If anyone saw me yesterday, I was married from Les Mis. The shirt, what the white shirt that I wore underneath, because you can't see it under all the other layers, it's £1 from the charity shop. It was amazing. And what I tend to find as well is that with me, I'm very, very cheap and lazy. If something can be bought cheaper than I can make it, I will buy it, like a shirt. Or for example, when you're doing like Harry Potter type things, you know, Asda or Tesco or Primark have very, very cheap shirts, like work trouser type things, or work skirts, very cheap. I can buy them cheaper than I can make them, therefore I will buy them, is generally my rules. I cosplay for fun. I don't tend to cosplay to enter masquerades, I just cosplay for fun with my mates. That's jumping into tomorrow cosplay. Again, dyeing is always an option. I had a Ruby Once Upon a Time cosplay. I found a perfect skirt. At the time I couldn't sew very well. I found a perfect skirt in New Look for, it was about 15 quid, but it was pink. It needed to be red. So I just dyed it. I mixed a couple of dyes together, just dyed it, just dye on dye. It's super cheap, super easy to pick up, and it worked really, really well. And that way as well I knew it could fit. Again, just watching out for slippy fabrics as well. Make sure you do buy a lining for them. I made the pirates skirts. I've never really made much before. I got this really cheap satin. Because it was really cheap, I needed to make sure I had cotton with it, just to try and stabilise it a little bit. And again, I tend to not buy patterns because I'm cheap. I tend to buy existing clothes to use as a pattern. So again, my Marius waistcoat from yesterday was patterned on a Primark, one from Primark, a men's waistcoat that I bought from Primark for a tenner, and just cut it up to use it as a pattern. Again, charity shops are amazing for finding clothes for patterns as well. Okay. Again, props and shoes is another one. Again, where you can find that obviously it can get quite pricey if you want it to. Again, I tend to find that I have a friend that basically goes to car boot sales. She picks up a heat gun for a £5. So, you know, this kind of thing does actually help. So just find an alternative thing, just keeping an eye out wherever you go for tools and for things that you can use. Also, I have a friend that works in supermarkets and picks up the shelving for nothing. So obviously you can use it for props as well. I do tend to use a lot of toys, so like toy guns, because they're all going to be composite as well. They're all just plastic and have a blade tip. So I tend to pick up the plastic guns and then just paint bits of them. And again, sort of pound shops and Wilco's and that kind of thing will sell paint and power tools and sandpaper and that kind of thing very, very cheap. You've got your DIY type shops as well. Obviously, you've always got things that are around the house. So you know, you get a parcel, you get some cardboard. You've got cardboard right there. You've got newspaper. This kind of thing can make really, really, really good props. You can't see it that well, but I have made an axe, literally just from papier-mâché and cardboard. And the gun in the top picture is actually from Poundland, for £1. But it's all about what else you use with it as well. If you have something that's really cheap and you use other things with it, then it makes it look more expensive, or you use a little bit of paint or something on it to make it look as expensive as you like, for me anyway. Again, shoes can be painted as well. You can get special leather paint, but to be honest, acrylic makes a little bit latex, works quite well as well. Again, it's a lot cheaper. And again, I do tend to use shoes across quite a few cosplays. I have some just black Doc Martens that I tend to use for all of my male cosplays, because I do a lot of male cosplays. It's very unusual for me to be in the skirt today. I'm not used to female very often. But I do tend to use shoes. These boots that I've got on right now, I've probably used across about 3 different cosplays. I think they were £30 in Mark's sale, I think it was. But they are just the most comfy things ever. They just will get thrown on just to use for a cosplay when I can't put another pair of shoes to wear. It also does save suitcase space as well, which, as cosplayers know, we have rather large suitcases filled with a lot of stuff. There's always going to be a safe suitcase space. have a lot of fun with makeup. But basically, again, makeup can be very, very cheaply bought. You know, pound shops, you can go to Boots, just nip into like number 7 is quite good. Natural Collection is quite good, sort of mattes, eyeshadows and that kind of thing if you want mattes rather than shiny. Again, you know, using someone else's makeup, borrowing from other people. Again, if you have other cosplayers that you know, you could borrow from them. I borrowed my foundation today because Bellatrix is quite pale. I borrowed my foundation. I borrowed several different products today. The only thing I would say with guys, even with a budget cosplay, is with contacts, please do not skimp on contacts. Make sure you don't get your eyes tested at Specsavers. It's about 20 quid, or if you're a student, it's free. So please don't get your eyes tested. That's one thing I've got to be really stressful about, because I don't like when people buy cheap contacts because they can split quite easily and it's your eyes. You know, you don't want to go cheap on them. I have to wear contacts anyway for cosplay because I can't see very well, so unfortunately I can't wear coloured contacts. But basically I would say that with contacts, don't skimp on the contacts. Skimp on everything else, don't skimp on the contacts. Also, if you're looking to seal makeup, literally just hairspray on the makeup, fixes it all day. This eyeshadow probably won't move now. I've got drag queen eyeshadow on and it probably won't move, so I've just literally got my hairspray on. Obviously on the hair as well, you know, I had to do quite a lot on that. But just cheap hairspray again, you know, cheap hairspray acts like a glue almost, so it's quite useful for wigs if you're not that bothered about them. This one can do whatever it wants, it's not going to go anywhere. Okay. This is the main thing as well, is that basically you just want to make your money go further. So for me, when I make a cosplay, I don't just wear it once. I wear it several different cons, I'll wear it, you know, different times. I'll literally go and go to random casual cosplay meets in it, and we'll wear it more than once. Or if I'm not going to re-wear it, I'll reuse some parts from it for other cosplays, or I'll sell it. Generally, I don't just let my cosplays sit there and not be used. I recently did a Sherlock cosplay. Wasn't actually that keen on the character in the end, so I'm probably going to donate my Sherlock cosplay to somebody else that I know that wants to do Sherlock. But for me, you see, I'm just like, I didn't really click with the character, so I'm like, maybe not. Bellatrix, on the other hand, fits my personality quite well, so it's I quite like cosplaying this one. But for example, my Jane from Firefly that I had up earlier, I've worn him probably about 6 cons last year because I enjoyed wearing him so much with my group, and it's just a lot of fun to run around in. So I tend to say, you know, look at different cosplays and look at redoing them more than once or twice. Again, it's the same with wigs and cosplay items. You can sell them, you can trade them, that kind of thing. There's lots and lots of trading sites on Facebook, on other social media sites. There's lots and lots of different places you can trade or sell cosplay items. Also, there's bring and buys. I know there is a bring and buy here at LAGC this weekend, for example, where literally you bring your item in, you put it in the bring and buy, so it sells, you get the money. It's great. But it's great like you just have stuff you need to get rid of and you want to get rid of it. It gives you a little bit of extra cash you've got to spend on that next cosplay. Sharing the cost of tools and non-local cosplay, like I said, I'm a big fan of collaboration. I basically collaborate a lot with the one person in the booth that you can't see right now. But we collaborate quite a lot. We tend to share skills as well as tools. So she's got a Dremel. I don't have a Dremel. She's got a Dremel and a hot glue gun. She's a props person. I don't have a Dremel and a hot glue gun. However, I do have a sewing machine that's a beast. So we exchange tools, basically. She goes around to my house for me to sew something. I go to her house for me to do dremeling and hot gluing. So it works. Again, also sharing like, you know, fabrics or skills. Again, I just literally go to her and go, here's all my wigs, please style them for me. This was styled by Ren, this was not styled by me. And then she hands me the sewing and goes, here you go, sew this for me, please. So it's rather useful. It just means as well you have more skills at your disposal. It means you have to buy less pre-made cosplay items. Because if you go on a cosplay site like Cosplay Island, not Cosplay Island, I don't buy cosplay items directly. There's various sites out there. So if you buy a full cosplay house for example, if you buy a full cosplay outfit, it's going to cost you more probably than you literally just buying and assembling items or making the items that you kind of sell. So generally I'd say that's something as well to save a little bit of money. Again, you can just try, if you're struggling with budgets, I'm looking at certain people over here that are very accuracy focused. Hi Rob! Basically, if you're struggling with budget, just try budgeting just on one item of the cosplay. So one item that maybe doesn't show as much, try to budget on that one thing. And also, picking your cosplay carefully can save you a lot of time and effort and money. Obviously, like I said, if you have like Elf and Death Note at the top, compared to, Nightingale Armor from Skyrim, there's a big difference there. Elle is literally buying a wig, pretty much, and a white top and black pants. You're sorted. Compared to, a full sort of armor-filled foam and warbler and all sorts of different things. There's a bit of a difference there. There is one thing I will say, like I said with this one, is that the ways to improve your cosplay if you're on a budget is obviously not necessarily just spending more money. Basically, take your time and basically improve your skills. That is where you're going to actually improve your cosplay in general, without having to spend a load of extra money on it. So literally just, if you're taking the time and either sort of literally hunting eBay every sort of night, calling eBay to find something. I know, again, I have a friend that literally bought second leather armor on there very cheaply because she's been trawling eBay. Or you've got the option of literally just improving your skills, instead of working with someone else to help improve your skills. Go to panels, find YouTube tutorials. Literally, YouTube has taught me how to sew. So, I had very basic skills from school, and that's it. And then YouTube, I was like, how do I put a pocket in something? Right, YouTube. How do I do stuff? I made my waistcoat and cravat and everything for Marius yesterday, and I made it from scratch, no pattern, never made it before. Just buttonholes. Buttonholes are evil. Don't like buttonholes at all. But I literally learned by watching YouTube tutorials. I'm not so, again with makeup, there's loads of YouTube tutorials out there. Okay, also is test running cosplays as well. I tend to try and test run a cosplay at a smaller events. Like this is the first time I wore Bellatrix. I had lots of issues this morning with Bellatrix in the shoulders. If I throw the hair back, because you can see under the hair, there are lots and lots of safety pins in here. This is supposed to be under the top. It's not. I have lots of issues, so basically obviously my next event that I wear her, I have to fix those issues, and I will rather do that at a smaller event, or where I crew quite a lot as well, so where maybe I'm crewing, I'll tend to test run a cosplay. Also, for example, if your cosplay is not quite finished, it's quite useful to wear it at an event, say we are doing something else, you'll just sort of test run it out. My Jake, for example, the first time I wore it was when I was crewing at Newcastle, and it was a quite small event, but I got recognised as Jake the Firefly even without any props. And if anyone knows the character, he's a mercenary character. He has lots and lots of props, lots of guns. I didn't have anything because I hadn't finished them in time. So again, that's something that you can add to cosplays over time. You don't necessarily have to have the perfect cosplay first time you wear it. You can add things in, like right now I want to put a dagger in Bellatrix, because I realised I have got a wand but I haven't got a dagger. She has a dagger, I want a dagger. So that'll be something I'll do next time. But again, maybe if I didn't have the budget to do it right now, at least I've got it for next time. Okay. Basically, obviously, like I said, I do stress as well. Again, cosplay. If you can't afford to feed yourself or pay your bills, don't cosplay. Yeah, make sure you have your basic needs met first, and then we'll do cosplay. It is a hobby, it's not a need. You don't need to do it. Again, if you're struggling, you're coming up to an event, and you're thinking, I don't have a new cosplay for this event, this is where I'm saying like re-wearing cosplays is quite useful. If you don't have the time or money to do a new cosplay, do an older cosplay, put a spin on it. For example, me and my friends have done Once Upon a Time. We've done Melmo movie Once Upon a Time. We've had Harry Potter uniforms, so we're like, okay, we can do Harry Potter crossover Once Upon a Time. So you can use the same wig, you can use the obviously the same wig, literally the same Hogwarts uniform. You just bring the accessories with the other cosplay. Do an alternate version or something. You know, that's why I always say to people, you know, if you don't think you can afford to do the actual cosplay as it is without spending loads of money on it, try an alternate version. Or if you're not comfortable in your cosplay, try an alternate version. You know, alternate versions you have a lot more freedom because it doesn't have to be screen accurate. So for me, I actually generally prefer to do alternate versions or something, or ones that are a bit more unusual. And again, I mean, cosplaying again is about fun. You know, you're not sitting there, you're not going to be perfect, you're not going to be just like that character 100%, but you're having fun. At the end of the day, dressing up, having fun. You know, especially like I said, I tend to do more group cosplay, so I literally just run around my base and just be in and out of character all day. It's a lot of fun. I've already been screaming at people today as well, jokes. It's good times. I'm just wondering if anyone has any questions at all? No. Oh yeah, come on. Around Newcastle. Okay, one sec. I'm looking around now for somebody that I know that's from Newcastle. Who's not here? Great. Based around Newcastle, I don't know specifically, but generally what I'd say is that, so for cosplay supplies now, for like fabric and stuff, what are you looking for? Are you looking just to start into cosplay?
Yeah, I was thinking about cosplay.
It depends what type of cosplay you're doing. Are you doing something that's like fabric? Are you doing some props? Or what kind of cosplay are you thinking of? Yeah, there you go, Elf Death Note. Okay, what I'd say with Elf Death Note is literally you just need a white long sleeve top. So Asda, Tesco, Matalan, anywhere like that will just sell a white long sleeve top. Black trousers, so again, anywhere that's supermarket, Primark, that kind of thing. You've got all those kind of places just to buy the basics from. And then when it comes to wigs, listen, I tend to use eBay. Because eBay generally is quite cheap. Depends obviously we've got an eBay account and that kind of thing, but eBay, Amazon, loads of places you can buy wigs from. Again, if you've got time before the event, do it in plenty of time. You can order a wig from somewhere like China or Hong Kong. It's a lot cheaper. It's generally quite good quality. So if you want to, but again, it will take about 4 weeks to come to you. So that's a trade-off there. So for Elf Death Note, for example, you can do that quite easily. Get yourself a little Death Note, make it yourself if you want, or buy it. Oh, you've already got a Death Note. You're already halfway there. It's sorted. So there you go. All you have to buy is literally. There you go. Bellatrix would love this word, I guess. My character would love to, yes. But yeah, literally, that's all you need to do is just think about what you've already got. If you've already got black trousers in your wardrobe, use those. I use work trousers for my Sirius Black. Basically, it's just literally my grey work trousers. I bought a shirt at £6 from Asda. I bought a tie and robes from eBay for about 20 quid. My first cosplay, done.
Okay, first of all, I think Al's trousers are actually blue jeans, not black.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyway, would you recommend, what would you recommend as far as like hair and makeup goes? So say I wanted to make my face a bit paler or a bit darker. Similarly, is just the standard hairnet like good enough to keep it?
In regards to hair and makeup, I always just use a wig cap because I've got lots of hair under here.
Okay.
Granted, it's not as important in this huge wig. When I'm wearing a short wig, for example, you can see hair. You'll put a couple of hair nets in. A lot of wigs will come with a free wig cap.
Okay.
So again, look maybe for that if you don't already have one. Look for one that comes with a free wig cap. And in terms of makeup, like I said, it's quite simple, literally just basic. You don't need to go for anything special if you're not doing the FX makeup. And again, even if you're doing FX makeup, something like Stanley works quite well. As long as it's applied, again, just look on YouTube, there's loads of tutorials on it. But you can go to like Boots, you can go to even Poundland sold makeup these days. You've got your pound shops as well. And just go there and just get basic makeup, or just borrow some makeup and just try it out. And just literally, the way I decided to do Bellatrix's makeup today was I looked, because I normally don't really wear makeup, like everyday life. I'm not a girly, generally. But with Bellatrix's makeup, I literally just experimented one day because it's cheap, it's makeup, but you know, a couple of quid for an eyeliner, it's a couple of quid for a mascara, you know. So I was literally just experimenting one day and just kind of went, oh, I wonder what it looks like when I do that. Oh my god, it looks amazing on camera. It looks horrible in person, looks amazing on, for me personally, but it looks amazing on camera. So I was like, right, I'm doing drag queen makeup essentially. Great, okay, I'll do that. But just whatever works for the character, look at what read just loads of reference pictures from the character. Get your reference pictures, really keep an eye on it, and just see what you can just try it out. Just try. That's what I always say with everyone. Try it. If you don't get it quite right, it doesn't matter in cosplay. My stuff is falling down. I've told you all this. All my costume is falling apart right now. But again, you always find out at events. You see when you have a cosplay malfunction, you can usually call a little friend, looking at somebody that called me yesterday saying, I've got a cosplay malfunction, can you come and help me? Or again, most events will have a cosplay repair kit. Ours, for any references for any cosplay, is upstairs, near the back of the stage area, well, not near the back of the stage area, sorry, near the back of the room. So literally, if you go in to the left, the cosplay repair kit is there. If you need to use it, go use it. Any other questions at all?
LAGC Feb.
Sorry?
LAGC Feb. I'm going to hijack a little bit random person. One thing that Melvin mentioned, when you're searching on eBay, unless you want a very, very specific defined wig or costume, don't type in the name of whatever you're hunting for. For example, I'm cosplaying Peter Quill at Outcon this year. So obviously I need the leather jacket for him. If you type in Peter Quill leather jacket, you're looking at 200 quid. If you just type in dark red leather jacket and then get to the right side, I found one for 30. It makes all the difference. If you have a chance, just type into eBay the specifics of what you want, but don't mention names and you can get cheaper.
Also don't put cosplay. As soon as you put cosplay on, it rockets in price. Any other questions? Yes.
Great hair. Great hair.
Yeah, if you're cross-playing, which again I do quite a lot, so I do basically male characters, obviously I'm female. If I'm cross-playing, basically, the best thing to use for beards is obviously either just literally eyeliner and mascara if you want to, or just stand flat down the room and then what's called a stipple sponge. It's a very, very small sponge, again about 50p, and you can get it from actually a lot of costume shops as well. So literally just double it on like that. Also, there is the option of prep foam, which is very, very cheap. But basically, you cut it up into little pieces, it looks horrendous, and you go, oh my god, what have I done? You stick it on your face with latex, so it looks like you've actually got a beard. It's great. However, it itches me a lot, so I can't wear it very often. I've just literally gone down the makeup route now. I didn't use it for quite a while, but definitely, if anyone saw, there was a Charles from Days of Future Past walking around yesterday, so that one over there. Yeah, there was lots of prep on her face. It was very beardy, very, very beardy. Yes, thank you very much, guys. And again, if you have any questions or anything, you see me wandering around, just grab me. My wig's big enough, I think you can see me. Thanks, guys. Cheers.